Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year's. Today we are going to be doing a large decal today for my friend Qua. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to hop on the computer. I'm going to show you what we got going on for him. So alright, what's up guys? So we're going to be on the computer today. Yeah, we're doing a large decal design for my friend Qua. So basically he requested this logo or this design right here. I actually had to remake it because it wasn't looking how I wanted it to look, but let me go ahead and show you. So this is the PNG file right here. This is from like a Supreme name generator. So basically what I did was I recreated it by just kind of, locking it into place, doing the box, and then the font that they're using is going to be Futura and it's heavy oblique. How it is, I kind of had to like skew it a little bit, but you see how it's not as italicized. I'm okay with that. We just had to recreate it now. So once you have that finished, obviously highlight everything, make sure it's converted into vectors, and then you're just going to export as, and I already have the DXF file, but you're doing the .dxf. Okay, after that, open up Cameo, and it's kind of hard to see, but we're going to be doing a big decal today. It's going to be a 20, let's actually do 20 inch. I feel like it's a good number. Okay, so I just turned on my Cameo. Hopefully everything connect. Cool, awesome. It's connected to Bluetooth, but we're gonna be doing Oracle 651, and I'm gonna probably do speed 4 just because I have a cutting mat for this now. So, or actually speed 5, and we'll do a cutting force of 14. And we'll go ahead and just press send whenever you're ready. But we're gonna switch back to the camera, and I'll show you how to do the rest from there. So what we're gonna have to do now is actually cut 20. So we have it at about 23, huh? So this mat is about 22 inches, I believe. Okay, so I actually just adjusted my cutting size to be exactly how big I could cut this, which is 22 inches. That way I can get a precise cut without having to like guesstimate and not waste vinyl by trying to do the whole 24. Okay, so cool, got that. And let me show you the cutting mat that I have. So this right here is the cutting mat from Silhouette. This one is 12x24. I believe I ordered this from Expression Vinyl. The only thing about it is that it's hard to line up sometimes because it's such a large cutting mat, but it comes in handy when you want to do projects like this. This was about $20, I believe, and I think it's a decent investment. I think if you're ever going to be doing decals, I think getting this large decal, or at least large cutting mat, is going to help you in the long run. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I have all like the measurements down, and so everything that's on the cutting or on the program is supposed to be like lined up properly. So I always want to make sure that at least something's lined up. So your thing is always as straight as it can be if you lined up at least one side. Oh, see? It's stuck to the other side. This, I flip it over, and then I use my handy dandy squeegee, and I squeegee it from the back to avoid scratching the front vinyl. That way I know everything's kind of flat. If you guys have a different method, let me know, but this is how I kind of like to do it, to ensure I don't scratch everything, but to make sure everything's flat. Alright, now the reason why I'm not doing the roll method, because I noticed if I do the roll method, and by the roll I mean like cutting it straight from the roll, the vinyl shifts after about like 12 inches. So having a cutting mat helps mitigate it for moving around. So now we'll just load it in. And then you just gotta make sure that your loader or your vinyl machine is set to the right size. So if you don't have a cutting mat that big, you can still do the roll method. However, I suggest doing a speed of 3 or even slower to avoid the vinyl shifting around while you cut. But other than that, I would recommend investing this little 12x24 cutting mat. But it just finished cutting, so let me go ahead and show you what I'm gonna do next to show you guys how I'm gonna cut this really long decal. So now that it's fixed, I can show you guys what I'm gonna do. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna take this all off first because it is a pretty clean cut, so I'll just weed out this first. That way I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so by easy, I mean it's just like squares. So all that cuts out. So what I'm gonna do now is actually just start weeding everything out. So I'm just gonna take everything out. This is what we're looking at. Hopefully you guys can see that. So basically to cut this, like it's a little bit too long, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is try to do my best and cut this straight. Cool. And it'll be as straight as I can. So when you're doing this, the trick is to just do this in pieces because it's gonna be kind of hard to. I have this one right here. So basically what I'm gonna do, put this off to the side, try to do this as quick as possible because my place is pretty dusty. And now that I have a lot more room, I'm just gonna place down. Alright, and cut away. So the reason why I did that is because it's a lot easier to cut out the excess than to try to make it perfect on the first try. So go ahead and squeegee all this out. Now this part, since there is a box around it, I don't need to be exact to where I need to cut everything. Just need it clean enough so they could peel it off or it looks nice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the edges first. And you usually want to cut all the edges off first because that's how you can get a clean cut. And then I'm not gonna move my blade out, I'm just gonna move the rule over and try to realign everything and just keep on. This is where having a longer ruler comes in handy, but I don't have that. And just line it up with the blade as well as the last lines. And it'll be straight enough. Cool, so that's the first one. Alright, so yeah, that's basically how I do large decals. So just to show you guys one more time, this one, Quado House. You know, larger decals, obviously it's going to be hard to cut perfectly just because if you don't have a long enough ruler, it's going to be difficult. But look at this one, pretty cool. But yeah, when cutting larger decals, I can recommend cutting them and doing them by pieces after they're cut from the machine. That way you can control the decal a little bit more, because I noticed when I try to line up the transfer tape with like 12x24 with a 12x24 transfer tape, that usually doesn't work too well. I'd rather waste transfer tape than waste vinyl. So just remember that, guys, when you guys do large decals. But if you guys have any questions about anything I've done so far, go ahead and comment down below, ask me your questions. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.